So the Dallas Mavericks have gotten out to a semi-slow start, going 5-3 to start the season, but a lot of these games could have easily been won if they would have just locked in and focused a little more. I would say things look a little shaky, but it's not much to worry about when you have a guy as legendary as Luka Doncic leading the charge. Starting the season off in an excellent fashion, across 8 games, Doncic is averaging 36 points, 8.8 rebounds, and 8.6 assists, which made him the only player since Michael Jordan to score 30 points or more in the first 6 games of the season. The Luka magic has been in full effect throughout these games, blowing away the crowd with his entertaining shot making Achua have happy feet here after all these herky-jerky crossovers into the circus one-footed fade, and then making Booker's defense look very childish. Doncic just bullies him getting to his spot, and after the step back he just leans around Booker's body and knocks down this wild jumper. It goes from Luka cooking you on the grill offensively with his scoring to then once you're entirely too focused on him, Doncic dissects the defense with these flashy passes. You see Boucher tries to double Luka off this screen, and Doncic says, "Wait, I have something better for you," and spins right through it, and once getting into the paint, Achua and Siakam are in position to stop him, and Luka just looks it off to the corner for the hardaway splash. Then as Luka comes off this maxi screen, watch as all 5 Orlando defenders are keyed in on him, specifically 2 are guarding him here, and the other 3 are all ball watching, and then Doncic zips this no-look to Green all the way cross court for the 3. The way Luka is scoring the ball right now, he is making the game look quite effortless. Knocking down 52% of his shots from the field so far this season is ridiculous, and it makes up for his rather poor shooting from deep this season. Shooting nearly 67% on all 2-point field goals, this isn't something you often see from guards, and if Luka stays consistent and effective inside the arc while also getting his 3-pointer up to speed, then we could end up seeing even more historic numbers from Doncic this year. The performances Luka has been putting on display are simply offensive masterclasses, doing whatever he wants to the defense whenever he feels like it. The smooth yet abrupt pace and direction changes make up for the lack of speed and explosiveness, and this is how Doncic keeps the defense on their toes. Coming off the screen, Doncic slows down for a split second to get Bridges on his back, and once hitting the paint, Aiden and Bridges do not communicate good enough, and Doncic stops hard on the attack to spin back, knocking down the fade from 13 feet. Late game versus New Orleans, Doncic gives Nance the hezzy after coming off this screen, attacks hard downhill spinning into the paint, and then quickly plants and pivots around Nance to lay it home. You have to be ready for any quick change in his route to the rim, so if you're a slow-footed big or a not so great defender, Doncic is gonna have a field day with you. Even against a good defender in Ben Simmons, Doncic sails the drive going left and shifts Ben quickly crossing back right, and when getting in the paint, Luka pro hops to the basket, which throws off the timing for Ben to contest, resulting in an easy gimme. The footwork for Doncic is something that is madly underrated, as this is what makes him so elusive despite his lack of speed. It's hard to really know whether he will continue to go downhill to score at the rim, or if he'll end up veering off into a fadeaway or a step back jumper, so it all makes Doncic very unpredictable. On all layups this season, Luka has converted 72% of his 61 attempts, and on fadeaways, Doncic is shooting nearly 61% on 29 attempts. You want to stay attached to him the best you can because he is deadly off either option, but Luka gets pretty creative to make the defense look completely lost. Sizing up Craig here, Doncic spins away from the help into the paint, and right as Craig recovers to contest, Luka gives him a up fake which gets him in the air, then steps through to swirl it around the rim before it drops in. You can see the same type of play versus the Pelicans, but it's in a slightly different variation. As Luka gets all the way to the rim, with Marshall on his back and Valanciunas in the paint, Doncic gives the pump fake which gets Marshall flying not only once, but then feeds him another one to get him on that trampoline and finishes the and one. Now if you're still not fascinated by the coordinated footwork of Doncic, then I don't know what to tell you. He literally makes it look like defenders are truly lost out there with no way of stopping him. He's starting to develop a counter for every counter, and when you counter that, well, guess what? He's coming back with another counter. This is something you only see from elite offensive players, as you might stop one aspect of their game, but you can rarely shut them down fully. Not only can Doncic get creative with the fakes and changes of pace, but he can put his back to the basket, methodically back you down while filling you out, and create space off of you for the bucket. With the strong defender and Lou Dort bodying up against him, Doncic gives 2 hard back down dribbles, and as Dort shifts more to the right side of Doncic, Luka rolls right off his shoulder into this fade from 10 feet. Then snatching back on Cam Johnson, Luka slowly gets into this mid post up, and after giving the hard bump to Thomas, Doncic spins off on the recovery and rolls this right off the glass. It doesn't matter what size defender you throw at Luka, as he will always take advantage of either one. Luka's court navigation is at an advanced level, as he can snake to anywhere he wants on the court while keeping the handle alive through tight spaces. Then out of nowhere, Doncic hits you with one of those step backs, euros, or pump fakes, and in the blink of an eye, he's getting past you for the bucket. The offense runs through Luka fluidly not only because he can score at will, but also due to his ability to facilitate the ball at an elite level. It's like he has a 360 view around the court when he's playing, and no matter the situation, Doncic can get the ball to an open shooter. Once getting the ball off this dump off, Luka fakes out Claxton with the ball fake and then no looks it out to Dinwiddie for the 3. And then attacking the basket hard, right as Alvarado leaves to help, Doncic just flips it behind his head to Dinwiddie for yet another 3. Besides just no looking it, Luka has been fantastic as always at finding the bigs on the roll for a lob or cutters flying into the basket. Doncic shifts Jones out of the way before putting it on the plate for Wood to go eat, and then dimes his pass over Wood to Finney-Smith on the backdoor cut for the easy gimme. Playing around Luka, you need to always be ready to shoot the ball and constantly moving because you never know when he will fire it over to you. Almost like he sees the play develop before everyone else, Luka slices passes past the defense before they can even react and the ball is already going through the basket. Affecting the outcome of every game greatly with his scoring and passing ability this season, Luka is starting to look very unguardable. I know the 3-ball isn't falling at the highest rate at the moment, but since Luka takes more of a high degree difficulty level of 3s, it'll take a little bit to get in his rhythm from deep, but once he does, it's just going to add in yet another area you can't sleep on Luka at all. Hell, even now, you don't see defenders sagging off because they know how hot Luka can get, and if he gets that oven preheated, then you know he's about to start cooking. An MVP year is definitely in the sights for Luka as he has came out gunning so far. The Mavs have a very solid team, and led by Luka every night, you honestly can never write them off. It's very early to make full predictions as to how this season will play out for Doncic and the Mavs, but so far it's looking as if Luka will be amongst the top 5 players, if not the top player in the NBA this season. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like before you head over to watch this Paolo Banchero analysis, or pick who you want between Ja Morant and Trae Young in this versus video. I thank you all for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.